welcome back. I'm Daniel Martin, and today I want to talk a little bit about investment in your lenses. What kind of return are you going to get? For example, Canon in the new RF series has three 50mm lenses. One is the 1.8 and it costs $169. One is the 1.4, costs $399. One is a f1.2 and it costs $2,269. Will you see $2,100 extra money from clients by shooting with a 1.2 that you would not have got shooting with a 1.8? I don't really think you will. The 1.8 does a fine job. It's not weather sealed. It's not as durable as the $2,200 lens, but I can buy a couple of those 50s for that price. So I say stick with the 50 1.8. If you want to go with a 1.4, that's fine. It's only $399, but I just don't expect to see a large increase in sales based on the lens that you have. If you're shooting at 1.2 and you're shooting, a bride and groom, her nose may be in focus and her ears may be out of focus. So even though your lens will go that low, you won't be able to use it on people all the time. You'll probably have to go to 2.8 or somewhere in that area to keep this much in focus. Another lens that they have, now I've got my 85 right here. This is actually the EF lens that fit the old DSLRs, but with an adapter, it fits right on the RF and does a great job. I use it all the time. This one was $500. It's Canon 1.8 EF, and it fits right onto the RF camera with the little adapter. The adapter is about $100, and it's a great lens. Or you can choose to buy the new RF 85mm lens that sells for $2,599 through Canon. I really don't think you're going to see over $2,000 extra profit between shooting with the EF 1.8 and the RF 1.2, I believe it is. I just don't see it. Maybe you will, but I don't think so. The more expensive one is weather sealed. You're going to get that kind of stuff in the high-end lenses, but the only time I'm in the rain is if we're outside and it starts to rain. I'm getting everything inside. It's not like I can keep shooting outside with a wet bride and groom, so you got to be in a dry area to shoot weddings. So that's how I view that. You've also got the 24-70. This is a very popular lens. The Canon RF 24-70 2.8 is $2,199, which is pretty high. They also have an EF lens, the older version, similar to this one, that is 24-70, that's 2.8, and it with the adapter will work just fine. It's $1,300. And just to throw a wrench in this whole thing, Sigma makes a 24-70 2.8 that you can get for just over $1,000. Now I've got a Sigma 24-105 that I just love. It's only an f4, so I can't get the depth of field that I would like from it. But as far as being an all-purpose lens, that lens is great. The colors that come off that Sigma, I had the Canon 24-105 f4 before the Sigma, but I wouldn't trade my Sigma even for a new Canon one. It just, the colors, there's something about that Sigma 24-105 that it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful lens. So, and this also applies to your cameras that you can buy. I bought the Canon R6, and I was comparing it to the Canon R5, which is 45 or 48 megapixels, I believe. But a few things with that, if you shoot a wedding and you're shooting 800 shots at a wedding, and the R6 is 20 megapixels, so I'm going to end up with about 3 times more storage space on my laptop and my hard drives just by using a 48 megapixel sensor. And not only that, the 20 megapixel sensor is going to give you less grain and noise than the 48 megapixel sensor, and that's more important to me than having all the extra megapixels. Now you can't crop as much with the R6, but you can do that in camera. If you shoot it right to begin with, you don't have a real big problem. But and plus that camera was I think another $1,500, $2,000, and I just couldn't see in paying for it. To me, the Canon R6 is the perfect wedding camera, and that's what I mostly do is weddings and models. So they kind of go hand in hand with the stuff that you need. So, just think about what you're buying. Are you really going to make that much money? If you were to buy the Canon R5 and the Canon 50mm 1.2 lens and the RF 85, you're going to be spending upwards of, and you throw in the 70 to 28 for $2,199, you're going to be throwing close to $10,000 for that. You really, if you sit down and look at it, I just don't think you're going to make that much extra money because you have that equipment. I've never had a client in 37 years come back and say, "Hal, if you'd have shot this with the 85mm 1.2, I would have bought it. But since you used the 1.8, we're not going to buy it." I just don't think you're going to make that much extra money using those lenses. Now, if you're turning it in for a competition print that's going to be judged by the PPA judges or something, then yes, they'll probably see it. Put it under a microscope, you're going to see it. But if your client is happy and you're giving high quality work and you're not having to spend 10 times more for a piece of equipment that'll do just a little bit more, I think you're going to be fine. That's what we've done for 37 years. Now, I'm not saying run out and buy some cheap, Tamron 17mm f5.6 on the low end. You're still getting good quality equipment. You just want to watch some of the extremes, Canon has came out with, I believe, a 24-70 f 2.0, and I believe it lists for $3,200. Don't quote me, it's right in that area. And that is just absolute craziness in my opinion. So if you've got the RF camera systems, look back at the EF glass, because you can get an adapter for $99 and all your lenses will fit on there and work perfectly. And the EF glass was fantastic. Now, I'm not saying the RF glass is not fantastic also. I'm just saying, is it justifiable for the price difference? So anyway, you guys think about that. And if you would, hit subscribe on our website. Y'all have a good day.